Scott Morrison spoke with Prince Charles at the COP26 summit where he excitedly explained Australia's commitment to climate change and net zero, but commentators cringed at Mr. Morrison's behaviour, with broadcaster Justin Smith comparing him to a dodgy used car salesman. The panel erupted at the comment and then went back and forth with each other as they argued over Mr. Morrison's international reputation. Scott Morrison spoke with Prince Charles at the COP26 summit earlier this month, which was captured on video. Mr. Morrison was seen eagerly telling the Prince of Wales he was committed to net zero and was working with neighbouring countries to tackle climate change. The Australian leader was seen flailing his arms towards a fairly meek Prince Charles. Host Chris Kenny remarked it was humiliating to watch and hated how Mr. Morrison was behaving with the next king of the UK. Mr. Smith commented on the video and said, "Well, it is humiliating, and Scott Morrison has humiliated us on the world stage many times. And there, with the future king, he looks exactly like what it is, a dodgy used car salesman who changes his opinions depending on the room that he is in." Mr. Smith then made reference to the AUK-US deal and Australia's falling out with France as another example of Mr. Morrison's embarrassment. The broadcaster remarked he enjoyed watching monarchists flip out at Prince Charles for making speeches about climate change. Prince Charles appeared at the COP26 summit and delivered speeches to world leaders urging them to tackle climate change. In his speech, he said, "The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us just how devastating a global, cross-border threat can be. Climate change and biodiversity loss are no different. In fact, they pose an even greater existential threat, to the extent that we have to put ourselves on what might be called a war-like footing. Having myself had the opportunity of consulting many of you over these past 18 months, I know you all carry a heavy burden on your shoulders, and you do not need me to tell you that the eyes and hopes of the world are upon you to act with all dispatch, and decisively, because time has run out." Prince Charles later called for a military-style campaign to use the global private sector and its resources to curb temperatures rising. The chairman of the Australian Monarchist League, Philip Benwell, also appeared on Sky News Australia in a separate interview and warned Prince Charles needed to tone down his political rhetoric, otherwise he will lose the support of Australians. He told the broadcaster, "It is concerning that the Prince of Wales has involved himself in a matter of controversy, but he is not yet monarch, and he is free to express his will, and he is passionate about doing something about the climate. But I agree, his comments go beyond the pale, and we advise him of our concerns in this regard. But it's important to remember that he is a part of the system, and it is the system that is the most important factor, because it is our system that protects our democracy. Charles is not yet monarch. The Queen's example has been tremendous and usual as far as monarchs go. Before they have become monarchs, many heirs of the throne have been involved in matters of controversy at the time.